Hi everyone, welcome to another Assassin's Creed Valhalla title update video. In this video we're going to go over the title update 1.1.1 or 1.11. But before we get into it, I just wanted to say once again, 93% of the people that are watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel, so please do subscribe, please do share, please do like and comment. And I will be doing testing of all of the glitches and all of the exploits after the patch goes live tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that video tomorrow, which is the 14th of January. And I'll go over what's working still and what's not, and if there is something new that comes out of it, I will be posting videos regarding that, so keep it locked on the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it. This update is going to be going live on January 14th, 2021, and it will be for all systems. So no matter what system you're on, you should be able to get this update tomorrow. For Xbox Series X, S, it's going to be approximately 745 gigs. For Xbox One, it's going to be 6.6 gigs. For PlayStation, approximately 2 gigs. For PlayStation 4, approximately 2 to 3 gigs, depending on your region. And for PC, it's going to be about 6.45 gigabytes. And it's going to be deployed 1 p.m. Central Eastern Time, or not Central Eastern Time, Central European Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 a.m. Pacific Time, and 11 p.m. Australian and Oceania region time, basically. These times might change, but that's basically when you can expect this update. And what this update is going to do is it's going to give us Ubisoft Connect achievements. They are now available, or they will be available after this update. Unlock conditions for quest-related or not repeatable achievements. Achievements where unlock conditions have been met will pop when the player completes a new quest. Unlock conditions for countable, repeatable achievements will pop whenever the player performs an achievement-related action past the unlock condition. So MISC updates or miscellaneous updates, the Animus Pulse will now highlight dead bodies for necessary situations only. Enemies can no longer be auto-looted using the throw weapons perk. They tweaked the AI detection when using disguise while dodging or while being in the air. And they added a reward to the Death Stranding homage, I guess. Quivers and rations will now refill when you upgrade them while they're depleted. So regardless, you'll refill them. White dots hinting at rations, adrenaline, arrow looping, beyond interaction range will no longer be displayed when the player has max quantity already. Players will now be able to use Wake Up at any time while in Asgard. Previously, you had to complete the first quest. Daily quests will now reset whenever the game detects that it's not possible to continue or restart the quest. The quest may then be reactivated at the Informer. Added text-to-speech letters found in-game. Added previews to colorblind and subtitle options. For balancing, they tweaked damage dealt and received values for the Lost Wolf boss encounter to reduce friction when playing on Drengar difficulty. They rebalanced initial damage dealt with the Harpoon Impalement, level 1 and 2. And for game improvements, performance and stability, all they say is they improve performance and stability. For graphics, audio, and animation, they address various graphics issues, clipping issues, and PC animation issues. An issue which caused dummies to jitter when hit with poison arrows. Oh, that sucks. They added some electricity to Mjolnir before picking it up. I wish they'd had that when I picked it up. Addressed an issue where war cries could repeat or loop oddly. An issue where blowing the horn and starting to move with left foot forward could sometimes make Eivor's feet glide. Photo mode, they addressed an issue when zooming in on children with the photo mode camera would distort their faces. I didn't know this existed. Addressed an issue where some Ravenskins could be low res. Optimized textures for PS4. Addressed a texture issue near Cicer Abbey that caused players to desync while walking over the texture. Quests, world events, and side activities. They addressed issues with the Legend of Beowulf, where the clue marker would remain after it was investigated. A sticky situation, where the NPC would not sometimes spawn. Where the player could get stuck fishing in Baker's Plaint. Fishing lesson that under certain circumstances prevented players from completing the world event. Stuck after pledging to Lincolnshire after returning from Vinland. Addressed an issue where players could get stuck in boss fight during a cruel destiny. Address an issue where some treasures wouldn't be at their location or couldn't be looted in Granterburyshire, Hamptonshire, Oxenfordshire, and Yorkshire. Address an issue where players could receive an online service error when trying to save. Black screen after building the blacksmith. Receiving storming the walls after completing severing the lines. Issue to serve the light, where Hytham would get stuck on the boat when randomly shooting arrows into the water. Addressed an issue that prevented players from interacting with settlement NPCs, prevented players from completing clues and riddles, and an issue that was in the absence of an Ealdorman that prevented players from completing the quest. An issue with the quest objective marker was pointing in the wrong direction, and the devil has all the best tunes. Addressed an issue in Warvary, where prevented players from completing the quest when Kilbert was accidentally killed. Addressed an issue that prevented players from starting the Daughters of Larian encounter, Gonerils and Cordelia, so that's been fixed. I know a lot of people had this issue. Addressed an issue in Binding Faith that caused the boss to be stuck on a rock. Issue where Estrid could get stuck in Taken. Issue in Pluck the Quill where players would sometimes be unable to interact with Ilwyn. Blinding Fate that caused the boss to be stuck underground when using Dive of Valkyrie. Prize of Wisdom that prevented players from completing a quest. Boar with the golden nose where the boar would sometimes disappear under certain circumstances. Bleeding the Leech where Erke would be at the wrong location. Of Blood and Bonds where the players couldn't complete the quest or couldn't report back to Randvi. The Prodigal Prince that prevented players from completing the quest. Address an issue also in relation to Old Celery Mystery, or Old Cellar Mystery. Rivalry for the Ages that prevented players from completing the quest. Mary Lude Disguise would not disappear after finishing the Gloucester arc. So they fixed that too. But keep in mind, whenever you go to Gloucester, you're still going to have it, I believe, after this. I'll test that out. Road to Harmatia that prevented players from completing the quest. Nude could become stuck in a little problem. Uba and the Sons of Ragnar has been fixed. Bassam was in the fight with MCC before the start of Puppets and Prisoners. Brewing Rebellion that prevented players from force opening the door to the Longhouse in Buckingham. Bridges of Oppression that prevented players from completing the quest. King Killer that prevented you to Ivar to reach the door to Rodri's room. A Fiend out of Hell that prevented players from examining one of the cows for the world. Addressed various textures and objects, instances where players could become stuck, grounded a floating boat in Vinland, gameplay, combat, and AI, NPC behavior issues, issues with NPCs not returning to the location they fled from while they're still being raided. Whales would sometimes start their fleeing behavior mid-air. I've never seen that. Archery was blocked, and M and K holding the shift key. I don't know what that one is. An issue that caused players' line of sight to be blocked using incendiary or poison traps. With the Predator Bow, yeah, I hated that. The Predator Bow is pretty horrible for LOS. It addressed an issue where guards would sometimes not interact with hostility to watching Eivor burn members of their faction with Dollar Charm. Wow. Addressed an issue where NPCs could be killed by throwing corpses at them in Vinland. An issue that removed Bjorn from the ship crew. An issue that with the mentor set where the gear perk sometimes didn't activate even though 2 to 4 sets pieces were equipped. Prevented players from controlling the Raven with Q or E buttons were assigned to one of the moon actions. Abilities, perks, and skills. Ranged special abilities could incorrectly be used with guided arrows. Issue where NPC would not leave Eivor's side when Feign Death was used. Issue where several abilities wouldn't work against hostile dogs. Issue where Man's Best Friend would not unlock after completing the quest, a little problem. Issue with the mentor set where the gear perks something didn't activate. Okay, so the same thing. User interface and HUD. Addressed issues with HUD and UI. Arrow quantity would remain stuck at 12, so they fixed that. UI language changes weren't applied during combat. They changed that. The camera will now be closer when browsing tattoos in the anime store. Addressed an issue where colorblind previews would sometimes not be displayed in menu. Colorblind values weren't applied to the Order of Ancients menu. An issue where blank box would appear in the completed quest list. An issue where fall damage could be negated by opening the menu right before hitting the ground. Oh, I didn't know that still existed. I thought that was fixed a while ago. Auto loot didn't work when an enemy was done and finished. Rakolf Monastery couldn't be raided. God's favors. Icons were missing for newly acquired God favors. Issue where in-game news sometimes wouldn't load correctly. Addressed an issue that caused players to receive incorrect items when purchasing Vigvasir or Munin front schemes. Oh, snap. They fixed it. So they fixed the tattoo and the glitch for Huntsman. So if you haven't already done the silver farming method, you need to do that ASAP, or get the glitch done ASAP, because otherwise you're not going to have that duplicate huntsman. Address an issue that allowed players to acquire duplicates of Asgardian ship schemes. And system added a respawn point just before the boss fight in extended family. There's an issue that prevented players from fast traveling after 1.0.4. Force trigger feedback, both shooting Xbox, PlayStation controllers. And for Stadia, they just save time not loading. So that's all the changes. I'm going to be testing out all the glitches, and I'll be making a video on that as well. So be on the lookout for that as well. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.